You know what makes me happy? Halloween. This morning, I made pumpkin pancakes for breakfast. Pumpkin ale's back in stores. It's like August 1st, and I am so happy right now. You know what else makes me happy? Doing photo critiques, and I'm stoked that you were tuned in for another one. Hello, my name is Mike Lloyd. I am a professional photographer and a certified print competition judge through PPA. I love doing photo critiques for a couple of reasons. One, it's a refresher for me on things that maybe I haven't thought about in a while. Editing techniques, compositional elements, anything that might go into this critique, it keeps it top of mind for me. Also, for you, it's educational. Even if they're not your photos, you can learn a lot from them. And it's why I always recommend submitting every image you can to every critique that you can find. Wink, wink, send it to me, mike@boudoirguild.com, and I will bring it up here on the channel and give you a constructive critique. Now, I'm not going to say things are good, things are bad, or you did a great job, thanks for sending your photos in, and just give everyone a gold star. That is not the point of a photo critique. The idea is that you will learn how to take better photos. It's not a judgment, it is technical advice. We're looking at impact, we're looking at composition, at posing skills, at lighting, and you're gonna find there's a lot of things that you overlooked in the photos or didn't even know was a thing yet, which was my favorite part about getting involved in these 10 years ago, because I would submit a photo and think, oh, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna blow everybody away in this competition. And they're like, oh, well, I could see where you were going with this, but if you would have edited this a little bit different, that spot's a little bit bright, and there's a distracting thing in the background. And then suddenly I'm seeing all of these things that I didn't know were there before. Totally changed the game. It wasn't about winning or losing. It wasn't about placing in the competition. As much as I love winning everything I do, there's also tremendous value in learning how you can get better. So that's what this video is all about. Let's dive in. This one took a minute for me to see. This is like one of the ones I looked at before, and it was tough to see like what was actually going on here at first, and then I realized what was up. So I like the depth of field. I like focusing on things too and letting the rest of the body fall into or fall out of focus. For me though, like the shoes here, the straps of the shoes are really bright, and that's kind of distracting, especially because it's right there in the foreground. So knocking that down would really help. Also with the hands here. Okay, so with hands, when you put hands together like this, it makes one big like 10-fingered club hand. So I'll put hands like this over somebody or sideways like this, but I never cross the fingers because that just doesn't photograph well. Like literally any other way you stack them will look better than this. I also don't like when people do this, especially when they pose in front of a Ferrari or something. I think that looks super weird. Okay, that was easier to explain than trying to sketch it with the little pen tool here. So yeah, I'd fix the posing of the hands. It looks like maybe her hands are tied around the wrists with the fabric. I can't quite tell what's going on here. Again, I think the crop is just really tight, and it's tough to see what's happening. So I think if you wanted to show like wrists being bound, I'd have them crossed. So instead of hands tied like this, tie them like this. Because diagonal lines are more, okay, tied with the necktie. Yeah, totally. So again, like this is weird because it makes this like club hand thing, but this diagonal lines are softer, more feminine, more flattering pose there. And then you could shoot that from the side if she's like tied to the ankles also. You could get all of that there. Yeah, it's tough to see what's going on. Digging her nail polish though. All right, let's keep rolling. There we go. Tied with a necktie too. I like how you staggered the legs. I'd stagger them the other way. So she'd be more zigzagged like this, as opposed to that zigzag coming up this way with that leg bent there. Small tweak though. And then this is one of the things that I look for specifically when I choose a bed to shoot on. I want the hardest, like Papa Bear mattress that there possibly is. Like a sheet of plywood with a sheet over it would be ideal, because when you have a softer mattress, somebody sinks into it, you're like losing a bunch of her, and things get cut off or smushed and spread out too, and it makes it's just not as flattering, right? Because you've done a great job of creating these shapes in here, and we've lost it because she sinks into the mattress. And then this sheet is also really, really bright in the foreground, and especially when you have these contrasty images, this much white space can be really overpowering in the image. So the other thing I look for when I shoot on different sheets is texture. I'd rather get a textured white sheet or comforter, duvet, something that's not just a big white mass like that. But otherwise, like I'm digging the separation in here. Again, you did a great job of creating these diagonals. It's just too much white, and the bed is a bit soft there. Cool. Okay. So I'm digging the reflection. I like this. I think it's a weird, I'm sure that's like the natural depth of the water, right? Is where this was, where her knees are here. And the way her arms go. But we're essentially cropped middle of shoulder and like right at the top of the thigh and the feet here. And it's just not an ideal place to crop. It makes her look kind of stumpy. Also, the horizon line here is not straight, right? The water should be coming this way, and crooked horizons always bug me. But I'm digging the reflection otherwise. Yeah, and we're losing all the separation in here. And I know it's tough when you have a wet shirt like this because it's going to hang down because gravity. But I'm digging. I love the light on the hair, the face, the expression. The hand looks great here. It's just cut off right at the wrist. And so it's, if it was like mid forearm or even wrist, just so you can see more of the hand, that would be ideal. And I think just enough detail in the background so she's not floating in outer space, because you can see the reflection of the stuff down here also, I think is great. It's out of focus, it's dark, but you can see there's background. I think that's done really well. And I like the light on her. I know you probably couldn't drain the water or like put something in there to lift her up a little bit would be ideal, just so she's not cropped. Because the water line, just like any lines in an image, whether it's the headboard or a fence or a power line or a telephone pole or any of the hard lines in an image, act as crop lines. And so you want to make sure those fall through the body in the most flattering positions. Well, what'd you think? I hope you learned something. Let me know down in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from this video, because I get something different from every single one of these critiques that I do. And if you would like to get your photo critiqued, which I really hope you do, just email it over to me, mike@boudoirguild.com, and I'll feature it here on the channel. And if you'd prefer to remain anonymous, not have your name mentioned, totally cool too. But either way, please do not put a watermark on the photo or it won't make it on the channel, because that will be my first and biggest thing, is stop putting watermarks on the photos that you submit for any kind of competition. I have a ton of other great videos on here about lighting, about composition, about posing, other critique videos. You can learn a ton. And if you want some deep dives, like, okay, these videos are great, I've learned a lot, but can you just hold my hand and walk me step by step? How do I light somebody? How do I pose somebody? How do I frame these images? And how do I make money from all of this? Head to boudoirguild.com and you can learn exactly how I do it in my own business to make multiple six figures of revenue, stay booked months out, and live an amazing lifestyle, helping people feel better about themselves. It's pretty sweet. You are amazing. We'll see you inside.